Okay, so now that I've gotten my my CSV files, comma separated variable files, these are the ones that I converted from the fit file. Notice I can tell which one is first if I look at the distance column, because you see this has 3.21 meters, and this one over here under distance has 1,375 meters. So this one occurs in the beginning of the event. So I'm going to copy all that over. I'm going to copy it into an Excel spreadsheet just because I can't make graphs in a CSV file. And then I'll go over and I'll get that second one too. The second one. Uh, so I'll just copy. I don't want the header in this case. This is a really long file because it was a marathon, so I'm just going to copy a little bit of it and put that in the, just go down and put it at the end of this spreadsheet. And so now I have all my data, and I want you to just take a little preview of what we have here. Here's the latitude and longitude. We don't need that because we have the GPX file. And then I also have the distance and the power and the altitude. We're not going to use those. And then I have other things that we can use like heart rate and step length. But right now we're just using the timestamp, the distance, and the speed, which is called here the enhanced speed. I'm going to do one thing though. Notice that this timestamp is a really big number. It's a Unix timestamp, and it's the number of seconds since some date in June of 1990. So that's not terribly useful for us. For our purposes, I'm just going to give an elapsed time, and I'll set this first one at 0, and then I'm going to have this one equal to the previous cell plus this minus this cell. So in this case, each time interval here is 1 second, but that's not always true. And it depends how the settings on your watch are set, that you might have different time intervals set for each one. So, so I'm going to just copy that down. I'm going to do the whole thing. And then that just gives me a nice time interval. And so I can look, if I want, I can look at the time versus the distance and just insert a chart for that. And there we go. I get a nice distance versus time graph for this runner. We actually see in the paper that this runner has a very consistent velocity throughout the entire race, except at the very end. So anyway, that's how you look at the data. It's pretty easy to use the data. As I said, though, there is also other things in this data like altitude, heart rate, step length, cadence, etc., that make for interesting data analysis.